Hello, everyone, all the beautiful people. Today is January the 10th of 2022. I have not been able to video journal for over a month just due to family and holiday festivities and preparing food and gatherings and then end of school semester kind of stuff. And so I'm very behind schedule, but I am here this evening and I'm ready. I thought I was going to be beginning off this year with giving my story of how God found me and picked me up and dusted me off and cleaned me up in a big way. But tonight, instead of that, I'm going to be sharing that this past month, right before Christmas time, my family, my uncle Bill, passed on from Parkinson's. And I'm going to be talking about caregiving a little bit more because I've had the blessed opportunity to spend a lot of time on the phone with my Aunt Jan. This is on my dad's side of the family. And Aunt Jan's always been very close to me. I've always loved her as a little girl. She just has the smile and the laughter is just boisterous and just fills the room and you want to be with her. And not only that, but when I was growing up, she was like the queen of cake decorating and she could make these extravagant gingerbread houses and she was just amazing. And anyway, but unfortunately, many years ago, my uncle Bill was diagnosed with Parkinson's. And so Parkinson's is extremely debilitating and it happens a little bit at a time. So you start just losing, who you are a little bit at a time over a long progression of time. And so the blessing is that he was home. My Aunt Jan was the primary caregiver as his wife. They, praise God, were both retired, but nonetheless, it was extremely exhausting. So my uncle did pass on, and so while he's no longer suffering, the realization of his not being here in the physical obviously is hitting home. And so I've spent a lot of time on the phone with my aunts, especially after my mom, died. We became even closer and closer because my mom and my aunt were friends in high school, right? So they've known each other forever. And it's been really special to be with my Aunt Jan and sharing my heart and where I have been at, but then yet be strong for her and where she has been and was at and where she's going to continue to be, because I've talked about new normals and anyone who's in caregiving understands this all too well. It's not something that we want to have in common, but we do. And so it's super important that we just talk about that and what that really looks like. And so, excuse me. So in any event, my uncle did pass on and we had a wonderful service for him, a celebration of life over this past weekend. And something my aunt and I talked about, and I want to just bring this out there. If you are a type A personality and all that comes with it, the good, bad, and the ugly, but mostly the good, we want to make sure things are right and taken care of and done. And I could hear this in my aunt, of course, because I identify with all of that. And with any caregiver, it is so important that now there's a transition, there's a time now where it is about you. It's about getting back to who you are. And sometimes we don't even know who we are without that loved one, without the parent, without your spouse, without the person that you're caring for. I think I've talked about this before, but hold on. Get down from there. Hey, get down from there. Sorry, my cat's drinking from the... Get down. the aquarium. Any event. And so my heart is just, that's where my heart is tonight. It's not about really talking about anything else. It's just talking about caregiving. And I wanted to share a story about myself that what happened when my mom was still alive. It was spring break of 2018 because she was diagnosed in fall 2017. So it was a spring break of 2018. So by this time she had 2 craniotomies. She was, or maybe even 3. No. She had 2 craniotomies, the gamma procedure, and she was still doing chemo and radiation. Anyway, Chris and our daughter and I, we went away from spring break, and I had a full-time caregiver here at the house, and my mom was still like mobile and everything at this time, but suffering greatly with the treatments and the steroids. In any event, we were in Florida, and it was day 2, and I was very excited to get away, but I was unsure how to really get away. And the second morning we were there, Chris says to me, honey, I've arranged at the spa for you to have a whole morning, like a full body, like the whole massage, this body mask and a facial and all this stuff. And I was just shocked and stunned. Not that he did that. No, because that is his character. My husband is that kind of a man. I was just like, you did? And then it was, how was I going to process this? I wasn't prepared to lay down and relax and be catered to, frankly. And so I remember I got ready, and I'm still bound up tight as this. And the gal, and of course, the woman's name is her name is Grace. I'm like, okay, of course it's Grace. So anyway, I remember trying to relax, and it took me a little bit. Of course, the aromas and all the stuff going on, and as she begins massaging my head, and all this tension is being released, and she starts doing just, you know, how they do the face and this, and I just started weeping. And it was just because all of the stress and anxiety and everything I've been holding and carrying and just everything, I just was not ready, or I didn't know how to receive being pampered and being cared to, because I'm the caregiver, right? And I have a mission. I have to see my mom through. And it was about 3 hours or so, and it was just divine. It was wonderful. But I remembered how hard it was for me to receive it initially. And so I'm thinking about this with my aunt right now, you know, that she's a go-getter. She's busybody. What can I do? What can I fix? Who can I help? What needs my attention? But there's going to be the time where that's going to get sifted. You know, oh, that just came to me. Like when you sift the flour, right? Or the sugar. No, it's the flour. You sift the flour, and there's like the little chunks of flour, and you got to sift it through and everything. It's like us, like we have to get sifted, and sometimes we're just not ready, but we have to be for our own good. And in order for us to receive the rest that we need. I think that's the heart of what I'm saying today, is like the rest, the peace and the rest, the contentment after having years of being intense, and especially her. I don't even know. I mean, it started, I think, about 15 years ago, and then it just, you know, everything got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And then the past 6 months, it went from bad to, you know, debilitating. And, you know, they met in high school, and she shared some very special things at his service over the weekend. And, and she's not the only one. My family's not the only one. I video journal just to get this stuff out of me. If I don't, I just absorb it. I just hold on, and there's so much in me, like I've shared before, I just want to talk about. And I'm not the only one. How many are, going through the hardship, of being a caregiver, or watching your loved ones so slowly, disintegrate and are ill, and you have to have resilience, but yet you're in your brokenness too, And so anyway, I don't know. I just wanted to share the fact that, this month is my mom's 3-year. So she passed in 2019, and here we are in 2022. And then my aunt was 30 days after her. So January's, are proving to be difficult months. But I know, like, I am reconnected with my cousins, and especially my female cousin, the eldest child, and I'm so excited to have her back in my life. When we saw each other, it was just like no time had passed. And we had talked on the phone a few times this past month, and I just, I am here. I want to be here for anyone, and just be like, listen, I understand, and it's okay not to be okay. I've shared that before. But then own what you can, get away what you don't need to be carrying, and then just say, wow, I'm going through this, and I'm okay with that, and process it, and then just kind of keep working through it. And then every day looking for the little blessings, the little kisses from heaven that I've shared before, whether it's that song on the radio, whether you're in the car, at the grocery store. There might be a card that might jump out at you, or something on the shelf that reminds you of, your loved one. It says, oh, I remember you, like my mom loved cream of wheat. And sometimes cream of wheat like jumps off the shelf, and I'm like, oh, Mom, and because I don't buy cream of wheat. But anyway, I just wanted to share, I'm behind on my video journaling on where I wanted to go for 2022, but it's important just to share, another loss, but yet bringing together family, loving each other in the hard times and the great times, but always being there. I always say you learn about a person through like divorce and death. You learn who has got your back, who is with you. And like death and divorce, those kind of are like interchangeable. People don't like to get dirty. They don't like to get in the trenches if it doesn't feel good or whatever. And I understand some people have real problems emotionally and all that, and I can understand that. But really, when your family and your friends who've been there for you, and then, like in my case, my cousins, we just had our separate lives. But now coming back together is just this reconnecting on my dad's side of the family. That's so special. And it was just instantaneous. And it's a blessing. And I'm looking forward to what God has in store for our lives moving forward, and also being the strength for my aunt as she moves forward with a life, without her partner and her best friend. And so anyway, God bless you. I always say, of course, God bless you, and may He keep you. And may His face shine upon you in graciousness and peace. And He stands behind us, beside us, and He goes before us. And He makes our crooked paths straight. And I've had many a crooked path, so I'm very grateful for my straight paths that He has cut through all the weeds, making them straight for me. So God bless you, and I will be journaling again. very soon. Thank you so much, and happy, blessed New Year. Good night.